All right, let's dive right in. In a previous explainer, we looked at Claude and ChatGPT head to head as individual chatbots. But wow, things have changed, right? The underdog has quietly snatched the crown. Within literally days of each other, both companies just dropped a completely new product category. We're talking about an AI that actually runs your team's work, not just, answers your questions. But hey, before we get to the cool tech, we've got to talk about the staggering amount of money driving this war.
Yep, $47 billion. Let that sink in. That is Anthropic's annualized revenue run rate as of May 2026. This is a massive, massive deal because it means Anthropic officially blew past OpenAI's most recently disclosed run rate of around 25 to 33 billion. I mean, for the first time since ChatGPT exploded onto the scene way back in late 2022, OpenAI isn't the undisputed revenue king anymore.
So, where on earth is all this cash coming from? Well, if we look at ramp data covering over 70,000 businesses, Anthropic has officially edged past OpenAI in enterprise subscription spending. In May 2026, Anthropic claimed 41% of that market, slipping right past OpenAI's 39.5%. It is a super tight race, for sure, but Anthropic is definitely pulling ahead in the corporate world.
Section 1. Anthropic's Enterprise Strategy.
The genuinely different business strategy that drove this incredible flip wasn't just about building a better chatbot, it was about who they were building it for. When you put their fundamentals side by side, the contrast is actually mind-blowing. Anthropic gets roughly 80% of its revenue directly from enterprise customers. Plus, they're spending about 4 times less on model training compared to OpenAI's historically consumer-first model. Basically, OpenAI went for the masses to build that huge consumer mindshare, but Anthropic? They went straight at the businesses. They quietly networked their way into boardrooms and netted over 1,000 clients paying $1 million or more every single year. To put that aggressive enterprise success into perspective, Anthropic's Claude Code tool alone pulled in a staggering $1 billion in revenue in just 6 months. Absolutely wild. This isn't just a fun little toy. This is a highly targeted business utility that companies are literally happily throwing money at just to accelerate their workflows and boost that bottom line. Moving on to Section 2, the new workspace battle. Right now, both companies are fighting tooth and nail over the exact same enterprise dollars with these brand new execution player tools. They both figured out the real money is in running your team's workflow. And in July 2026, it became an absolute sprint to capture your workspace. Just look at how incredibly close these launches were. July 6th, ChatGPT shifts to token pricing for agents. Literally the next day, July 7th, Claude Cowork launches on mobile and web. And then bam, July 9th, ChatGPT Work officially launches. So first up, let's look at Claude Cowork. They expanded from just desktop to roll out to mobile and web. The big headline feature here is this incredible cross-device continuity. What this means in plain English is your task just keeps running in the cloud even if you snap your laptop shut, and you can casually check on the progress right from your phone. Plus, it comes bundled in their existing Pro and Max plans. And to get folks on board right now, they've actually doubled usage limits through August 5th. Now, I absolutely love this surprising little fact buried in their data. Despite Claude's massive reputation as an AI coding agent, most people are actually using Claude for general business, office tasks, and coordination. It is really not just for engineers anymore. It's rapidly becoming the central operating system for everyday corporate work. Meanwhile, OpenAI fired right back on July 9th. ChatGPT Work dropped, powered by the brand new GPT 5.6 model family, which is just a massive engine under the hood. This thing positions itself as a full-on business execution layer. It's built to seamlessly pull context across all your scattered notes and tools to actually finish your slides, sheets, docs, and even full websites. And honestly, the best part? These workspace agents can run directly inside ChatGPT or right in your Slack for Business workspace.
Okay, Section 3. Pricing Strategies, Subscriptions versus Tokens.
So these execution layers sound incredibly powerful, right? But the immediate question for literally any manager is, how much is this going to cost my team? Well, here's where the two philosophies drastically diverge. Claude Cowork just bundles access into their existing predictable subscription tiers, like Pro and Max. You know exactly what you're paying every single month. No surprises. But ChatGPT Work took a completely different route. For their workspace agents, they shifted over to usage-based token economics. So basically, you pay for what the agents actually compute. When we look at those GPT 5.6 token economics across their three model sizes, Sol, Terra, and Luna, you can really see the financial breakdown. For instance, the heavy-duty Sol model costs $5 for input and $30 for output per million tokens, while the much lighter Luna model is just $1 and $6. This specific structure effectively turns your AI usage from a simple technical decision into a daily budgeting decision. Every single time an agent runs a complex task, a meter is ticking in the background.
Moving to Section 4, Hidden Limits and Risks.
Now, before you rush to switch your entire team over to either of these brand new tools, and let's be real, rough edges are definitely expected this early in the game, we have to ask a very serious question. When you let AI agents independently run your workflows and generate all these assets totally in the background, what is the true, real cost of all that automation?
Well, the major operational risk here is simple, but man, is it dangerous. An unsupervised workspace agent running on a per-token meter can so easily generate a massive, completely unpredictable runaway bill. If you don't cap it or heavily monitor it, an agent just chewing through huge amounts of data at scale introduces a totally new kind of budgeting problem that most small teams simply haven't had to deal with before. You could literally wake up to a massive invoice for background tasks you didn't even know were running. Ouch.
Finally, Section 5, Actionable Takeaways.
So, based on how your business actually operates day to day, here's our final recommendation. You should definitely choose Claude Cowork if your team already leans heavily on Claude for writing, research, and general coordination. It's just a natural extension, and you really should test it out before August 5th to take advantage of those doubled usage limits. Conversely, you should pilot ChatGPT Work if you're a heavy Slack-based team that really needs granular agent control directly in your existing business tooling. But please, just make absolutely sure you set a strict spending cap immediately before you let those agents run loose.
As we wrap up this explainer, I really want to leave you with this provocative thought to chew on. We've seen the huge money, the flashy features, and the very real risks. But between Cowork and ChatGPT Work, what is your team actually using these execution layers to accomplish right now? Are they drafting docs, organizing massive spreadsheets, or maybe doing something completely unexpected? Let me know, keep learning, and I'll catch you in the next explainer.